And I'll go into more things here, and oh my god, Rain Dance. Rain Dance is one of my favorite maps. It's one of the classics. It is an awesome, awesome map. So you can also spin the mouse wheel to switch weapons. You can do it before a match if you want to be a screw around, you know, and just be an idiot. So come on here. Okay, so now we're going to go into the packs. And I know this is a monotonous thing, but if you actually sit through this and watch, and you actually play through this game, I guarantee it's going to be worthwhile. This is seriously like the funnest FPS game I have ever played when there's a lot of people playing it. So, now that we're done with light armor, we're going to go into medium armor. And medium armor is pretty much the same thing as light in terms of weapon selection. The only real difference is that now you can't use a laser rifle, and your mobility is decreased a little bit, but now you have more actual, you can take more hits. The first also change is that it can carry a portable inventory station. So, if you see here, like let's say I go up here, and I want to build shit. Now I can place the station down. And by the way, you place stuff with P, with the P button. That's how you place down packs. Or if you want to get rid of a pack, you can do Control P. And you have to deploy it near you, so the deploy position has to be in range. So there's your remote inventory unit, and you go into it, and you can buy shit. Now, you can't change armors from remote inventory units. So keep that in mind. And they blow up pretty easily, too. As you can see, if I just come over here and just shoot it, it's pretty much fucking done. So you go over here. And something else to note about this game, too. What you have on you dictates how far you can fly and how much your weight is. So keep that in mind also. Like, for example, if I'm a medium armor and I have that inventory station, which I believe is the heaviest of the packs, look how long it takes me to get up in the air to get a sufficient momentum going normally. Like, let's go over here. And so if I jump, you can see that's about how fast I travel up in the air, right? So now if I get rid of my pack and my weapons... Control W used to get rid of weapons. Weird. Control W used to get rid of weapons, but even just look at how much better I fly if I've gotten rid of the inventory pack. See? Just fucking effortless. And if I go and pick up the inventory pack, see, it's much slower. So again, so that's something to note too. You know, when you carry extra shit, your mobility goes down. Now remember, this game was made in 1998. So a lot of the shit you see in FPS games today that's like, you know, cited as being realistic and innovative, these guys were doing it probably like a decade before them. So, you know, keep that in mind. That's pretty awesome. So now we're on to the heavy armor, which is the favorite of most people who will probably start playing this game for the first time because it allows you to blow up a lot of shit. Something else to note about the medium armor too, you get an extra weapon slot when you're in medium armor, I believe. Yeah, you get an extra medium slot, or an extra weapon slot, so you can carry 4 weapons instead of just 3 when you're the light armor. Heavy armor can carry 5, however, because it's a fucking badass. Heavy armor is also the highest health endowed, and it's also the slowest to walk, both and with jetpack usage. So keep that in mind. They're pretty much the tanks, obviously. But the heavy gets a special weapon called the mortar, which is generally the BFG of base. It knocks shit out. So here's the mortar. So you can fire it, and it fucking makes a big explosion, which will do a shit ton of damage. That will insta-kill light armors, and generally kill medium armors unless they get out of the blast range pretty decently, and do a good amount of damage to even heavies, as I'll show you with this. Yeah. So now, there was one thing I didn't cover just a minute ago with the buttons, the stuff you can deploy, and that's the beacons. And the beacons are useful for people who use mortars especially, because, let's say I put down, let's say this is the enemy base, right? And I've got a heavy back at base that's waiting for me to mortar the turret. You can press B to lay down a beacon. So now, if you've got a normal weapon selected, like this, that's not a arcing weapon like a grenade or a mortar, you'll see it just looks normal, right? Which is still good, you can target and stuff. But if you pick a weapon like the grenade launcher or the mortar, now you can aim it specifically where that little arrow's at, and look what it does. Lands right fucking on it. So that is, again, this game is about teamwork. This game is very, very, very much about teamwork. If you're really good, you can kind of ramble it sometimes, but it's very much about teamwork. Also note that just like many other FPS games, you can rocket jump, although in this game it's a disc jump or a mortar jump, either one. So you can jump, jetpack fire, and you get fucking blasted. So that's pretty, you know, basic. Now, before I get any farther into things, I need to cover the third aspect of this game that makes it different than most other FPS games. And some people will argue it's probably the most important aspect of the game if you want to be good at it. Remember how I talked about physics earlier? When this game came out, there was an element about it that was not intended, but they put it in Tribes 2 and all future Tribes games ever since because it's become such a core element of the gameplay. You notice how most of this map is big hills, big rolling areas, stuff like that, right? So let's say you want to walk over to the enemy base, or you want a jetpack over there, right? So you're just like, oh, this is fucking taking forever. Jesus Christ, my base is already blown up. A better way to do this is to do something called skiing. Now, skiing is just like it sounds. You literally ski down the damn hill. Now, you're probably wondering, how the hell do I do that? Well, first of all, fuck this beacon. But here's how you do that. And by the way, the beacons do blow up if you hit them directly. So here's how you do that. The game has a little bit of a botched physics engine where if you jump down a hill, your acceleration and inertia will dramatically increase. So here's me going down the hill normally. And here's me going down the hill when I'm jumping. Notice the speed increase? Now, if I were to keep that up and keep on going down a really steep hill, that multiplies exponentially. It was real slight there because it's not that big of a hill, but you can use that to your advantage in a really big way if you fucking get your actual speed momentum going before you even hit that. And so that's what skiing is the minute you hit the ground, you jump, and you just go down hills, and then the minute you hit the bottom of the jump, you want to basically launch off, not the very, very bottom, but you want to launch off. Oh, and yeah, if you leave the mission area, you'll start to lose life. So take that into account, that in a lot of other mods, they don't care about that. But in base, you will start to lose life. I guess you don't lose life in this base mod, or in this base. In beginning base, I can't remember you lost life, but I guess you don't in this. So there's no penalty to leaving the mission area, except for if you have the flag. If you do have the flag, note that you will immediately lose the flag if you've been outside of the mission area for any period of time. So keep that in mind. So now I'm going to show you guys what skiing can be like if you really get speed going. So let's go down the hill here. And you want to use your jetpack a little bit too, just a little bit, to kind of get momentum going, you know what I mean? And so let's look for a good hill here. There's not really much. There's a good hill up there. Energy packs help you ski a lot better too. And you can ski on level land. It's just a little bit harder. Not really hitting any good hills here, but we are getting some momentum up. So here we go. Now we're getting it going. And you can also disc jump to really get your speed going. So you want to, yeah, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. So as you can see, I'm going a pretty good clip here, but you can go way faster than this. You can really fucking get some speed going. If you know what you're, I mean, if I had some steeper hills, you can really get some speed going. So that's one of the core aspects of this game is if you play against people that know what they're doing, they can get across the map in maybe like 3 or 4 seconds tops, and that's with fucking heavies. So skiing is very, very, very fundamental to knowing what you're doing in this game. And if you can't do it right, you're going to get owned pretty fast. But luckily, it's not that hard to do once you kind of get the general feel for it. And, like I said, you just want to get that inertia going. You want to get that momentum, and then just jump down the hill. Keep on pressing jump. You want to just time it and stuff like that. And it's one of those things that takes a little bit of effort. It takes some, it's kind of an acquired skill, I guess, if that makes any sense. It's like it's kind of weird and wonky at first. And you can actually reach the end of the map. There is an actual end. Which I should be getting to here pretty quickly, actually. There we go. So if you reach the end of the map, you will just float off into nothingness, and all laws of physics will not apply, and you will say bye-bye. Now, in the instance you ever get in a case where you do want to kill yourself, you can hold down Control and press K, and it insta-kills you. So there's another thing on the keyboard to keep in mind. And beacons, by the way, are the B button, mines are the M button, and G for the grenade button. So it's really easy to remember that. Now, there's another 2 buttons I'd like to tell you about, and that's I, to check your inventory while you're out on the field and you're not actually at an inventory station, inventory station. And then O is to go to your objective. Now, what the objective is whatever you have to do for that map. It'll show you what the team scores are. It'll show you what you need to do. Like if somebody has your flag, it won't say defend your flag. It'll say recover your flag from this player or that player. It tells you how much minutes are left in the mission and how many points you need to win the mission. And if you see the chat window up there, you can press T to talk, and you can press Y to do a team chat, and you can press U to increase the size of your chat window if you want to see more. And it also has, it's not just chatting, it's also stuff that happens in the game, like, a player gets killed, whatever else, stuff like that. And something else I'd like to note is you spawn with a health pack. I believe you do, I'm pretty sure you do. Let me check sure. Yeah, you respawn with a repair kit. And so what that does is it's different from a repair pack, wherein if you get damage like this, you can press H, and it instantly refills a little bit of your health. And that amount differs for each armor, take into account, and you can go and get another health kit if you go back to your station and just get one. This is also an ammo station. It just basically refills your ammo and your health. So if you don't need extra items and you want to leave that open for somebody else on your team to buy shit, that's a quick way to do it. And now this is pretty cool, actually. Remember that command thing I was talking about? This is a different version of it, but if you're on this, you can actually remotely control turrets. So you can click on this button right here, and it goes to your turrets. And this goes to your non-offensive things, like your vehicle pad, your command station, your main generator, all that stuff, and it lets you see the status of them, if they're alive or dead or not. But this, let's see here, let's say I want to go to the plasma turret. So you click on that, then you click on this, and lo and behold, you're now controlling it. Now, all turrets in this game operate automatically, and I'll get into that in just a little bit here too. But you can operate it, and as you can see, it has an energy thing there too, and it has life just like a character. So you can shoot this at whatever you want. So if there's some dick sniper up here on the hill, you can fucking blast his ass. So if he's out of the range of the automatic turrets, which can also be seen by the gigantic blue rings. So take that into account too. So you press C twice to get out of that menu when you're actually on it. The next thing is I'm going to show you actually that if you go into light armor, there's 5 packs you can use. We've already covered the energy pack, right? So now we're going to cover the repair pack. The repair pack, if you press the P button, will enable it, so it's an actual usable thing. And the repair pack is used when you need to repair your actual base. So enemies can come in and fuck up your base, and then you won't be able to buy weapons and all this other stuff. Now, most base maps have a repair pack located somewhere on the level nearby, because obviously if you can't buy a repair pack, how the hell are you going to repair anything? So, for instance, on Rain Dance, I believe the repair pack is... I remember it being in there. But if it's not in there, it's somewhere on this map. I've actually forgotten where it's at, but it's somewhere on this map, and they're on all base maps as far as I can remember. But anyways, you go up here, and let's say something's damaged. I think I can damage my shit a little bit. Okay, so there you go. So now it's damaged. Now, on your team, you can only damage your equipment to its lowest level possible without being actually out of service. But I'll switch teams here in a minute and show you that. So you click on it here, and it repairs it, and it's easy as that. So people repairing stuff are actually really vital to a team, because if you don't have a guy that knows how to get on it and like repair stuff, or like kind of like a dedicated repairman in a really big match, you're going to get owned real fast. Because those enemies will swarm in, fuck up your shit, and you won't be able to build any defenses, and they'll just left and right own you. It won't even be a contest. So the next thing is the shield pack, which does pretty much obviously what it says. It's a shield. So for instance, let's say it takes away your energy too. All the packs use your energy, except for the ammo pack, which doesn't because it's ammo. That's kind of obvious. So let's say here, if you press P, it enables your shield. And now, if you see on your back, you can see that your shield's on. And if you disable it, it goes away. So now that I have my shield on, the blue bar now replaces your health as a buffer. So remember that mortar? How much damage that did? If I lay that, it only did a little tiny amount of damage because it had the shield pack. And if you have something smaller, like let's just say a grenade or something like that, and you enable the shield pack, now it doesn't do any damage. And you'll see a little shield thing there too. If you fire at an enemy and you see that little blue shield icon, that little blue shield thing come up, it means they have a shield pack on. But note that if you have the shield pack on and you get shot a lot, well, you can't fucking jump now because you have no energy. So it's kind of a trade-off there, like most things in this game. The next one I'd like to use is the sensor jammer pack, which we haven't really got into that yet. I'll use that in just a little bit when I actually go to the enemy base. The last one is the ammo pack, which effectively doubles the ammo for all of your weapons. So if you're a heavy, this is really useful. Trust me, heavies is pretty much the main reason to use that.